Alright. Who put these PNGs of Snover all over my camera lens? Where's my flamethrower at? Where's it at? Bye-bye, little snowman. Rest in peace. It's dripping. It's dripping everywhere. All over my floor, all over it. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I saw this video right here that I'm cradling. I saw that in my recommended and I thought to myself, I have a pet. I can make it a Pokemon. So of course, there's a few things that we need in order to begin the transformation. We need type, moveset, HP, and to simulate battle. But I'm willing to bet you don't care about any of that, and what you really came for is the bearded dragon. So, let's conjure him up. What do they say in Harry Potter? So this right here is my bearded dragon, Equinox. So first what we'll do is calculate HP, since it was the thing that inspired me to make this video in the first place.
How are we going to effectively calculate any pet's HP?
So in Brian's video, he separates animals first into categories based on what they are.
The standards are still there: dog, cat, fish, and all aquatic creatures. Reptile, bird, equine, small animal is becoming bug because I love bugs.
Of those animals in Pokemon, and finds the one with the lowest and highest HP to get a range and an estimate on where their health should fall into.
By building a set of pet types, we are able to assign HP ranges to each of them by finding the lowest base HP and the highest max HP of each type.
So of course I have a reptile, and the HP range for that is between Shieldon at 30 HP and Giratina at a whopping 504. Also, why is Shieldon in the reptile category? I mean, I guess its typing is rock and steel, which is a typical reptilian environment, but come on, don't you just want to play fetch with Shieldon? According to Brian, we have to categorize further by separating them into classes based on their personality.
About class, as in what standard gaming class does your pet fall into? Every class has different HP ranges based on what they are expected to do. Barbarians are out in the front lines, so they tend to have a lot more HP than a rogue who is slinking around in the back. I've decided that the classes that make the most sense for pets are Barbarian, Ranger, Paladin, Cleric, and Rogue.
So what do I think Equinox is? Well, I didn't know. I was at a loss at first, but then I recalled all the times when Equinox scared the hell out of me. And look at that. We have a category for demon. So he's a rogue. So now I have to put tallies every time he displays the actions of a rogue: mischief, theft, and ethereal creature. Just a little side note, I'm only guessing the number of times these events occurred. They probably happened more often, but we'll keep it at these values for now. First up is the times that he was mischievous. So when I let him out of his enclosure, he regularly seeks shadowy places, like under my chair. I've seen him do this at least 4 times. That's 4 marks. While I'm holding him, he will often try to go to my back or behind my neck and just hang out there, out of sight, as he plots how to insert his razor-sharp claws into my flesh and shred me apart. Another 5 marks. Now I feel like I'm building a reputation for Equinox that paints him as a competent killer, but in actuality, he regularly runs face first, full speed into walls, so he's not the most competent of rogues. Up next is theft. Now, bearded dragons, as you might know, enjoy the occasional dandelions, so they look for things that are yellow and try to devour them. So one day I was handling Equinox with a black and yellow sweatshirt on, and I had him resting on my legs. He was just hanging out, before he caught the yellow pattern on my sweatshirt, and with an inner rage I didn't know he had, he lunged at me with an open mouth. He tried to rob me of my sweatshirt, and he struck fear into my heart. So I'm going to put that both into the stealing and surprising category. There's another event which I think fits into both categories. So one day I was feeding young Equinox, and I had a box of crickets above his head, and I was sprinkling them into his enclosure, when out of nowhere he leapt from his basking rock out of his enclosure. With some godlike reflexes, I caught him. But yeah, it definitely surprised the hell out of me. And also, he was trying to rob me of my share of the cricket. There are two other times he surprised me. When he hissed at me for the first time, and when he slapped me with his tail. To be fair, the hissing wasn't at me, it was at a cricket, and the tail whip, I believe, was because he was trying to get his balance. Those totals come to 9 for the mischief, all weighted at 3, for a total of 27. 4 for theft, all weighted at 2, coming to a total of 8. And 5 for scaring the shit out of me, all weighted at 4, coming to a total of 20. So that's 20 plus 27 plus 8 for a total of 55, which I'm going to divide by the number of hours which I observed him, which I'm going to put down at 8. So 55 divided by 8 is 6.8, which I'm going to round up to 7. So Equinox is level 7. A bit low on the HP, so I definitely have a bit more training to do. But what's interesting to note is that I have had him for 7 months. So he gains a level each month based on this calculation. I just think it's kind of cool how that math worked out. But that doesn't give us his HP. So what we need to do in order to get that value is multiply the type modification by their user level and add that to the base HP. So the type modification for Reptile is 2.8 and the rogue base HP for Reptile is 30. That's 7 times 2.8 plus 30. So his HP comes to 49.6, which I'm going to round up to 50. So he's a level 7 rogue with 50 HP. So now what we have to do is get type. And you might be thinking to yourself that that's pretty obvious. He's a bearded dragon, so it would be a dragon and ground dual type. But I thought to myself, that's too easy. I want to spend hours of my time in pain and suffering. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to comprise a list of Pokemon who are reptilian in characteristics. Now this is by no means a full list of all of them. I thought when I started this that there was only going to be maybe about 10, but I completely underestimated the amount of Pokemon that currently exist. So instead I came up with a list of 40, which I think is a pretty good representation of reptile Pokemon and their types. So the list is as follows: Helioptile, Heliolisk, Axew, Fracture, Haxorus, Kecleon, Bagon, Shelgon, Salamence, Sandile, Krokorok, Crocodile, Cranidos, Rampardos, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, Totodile, Croconaw, Feraligatr, Sobble, Drizzle, Inteleon, Scraggy, Scrafty, Tyranitum, Giratina, Groudon, Rayquaza, Snivy, Servine, Serperior, Druddigon, Dreepy, Dragapult, Dragacloak, Trico, Grovyle, and last but not least, Sceptile. So that gives us 40 Pokemon to work with. Now, if we go into their typings, that gives us 52 different types because some of them are, of course, dual type. So what I did is I calculated the number of types. So we have 2 electric type, 3 normal type, 12 dragon, 2 flying, 3 fire, 7 rock, 6 water, 5 dark, 2 fighting, 4 ghost, and 6 grass. So in order to get Equinox's type, what I did was I created a deck of cards. There is a problem that arises here, which is that I can't, the Pokemon trading card game doesn't have some of the types that I just listed, so we're going to do some replacements for those. So Dragon is becoming Psychic, Ghost is becoming Fairy, Steel, Normal is becoming Steel, and that's it. So what I did was, this deck is comprised of 12 Dragon, 7 Rock, 6 Water, 6 Grass, 5 Dark, 4 Ghost, 3 Normal, 3 Fire, 2 Electric, 2 Flying, and 2 Fighting energies. So we're going to shuffle this up, pull out 2 cards. He's going to be a dual type Pokemon, so whatever 2 types I get, that's going to be Equinox's typing, which I made extremely overcomplicated. I have no idea why I did this and why I didn't just go with Dark and Dragon, but here we are. So let's shuffle these up. His type is Steel, which is Normal type, and Fighting. So he's just ground and normal. It's pretty anticlimactic for all that work, but we're just gonna stick with that. So let's recap. Equinox is a level 7 Pokemon with 50 HP. His type is ground and normal. Since this video took such a long time to make, it took 2 full days of editing. I think that I'm gonna do the 2 other parts that I left out, moveset and a simulation of battle, for another video in the future. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun making this, and I'm really looking forward to doing the next part, even though I think that'll probably be a little while in the future. But yeah, see you next time.